Well, as millions head to U.S. national parks this summer, we are shedding light on a little-known list called the List of the Missing. The National Park Service has faithfully kept records of visitors who are gone, often without a trace. And the list is long, with several mysterious disappearances of those who simply set out to bask in the beauty of our nation.
Yellowstone National Park, crowned the most beautiful national park on Earth by usnews.com, beckons with its awe-inspiring vistas and natural wonders. Encompassing an expansive 2 million acres, the park enchants visitors with a diverse array of attractions, from bubbling hot springs and picturesque hiking trails to world-famous geysers and herds of free-roaming bison. Yet, beneath this pristine facade, a shroud of secrets cloaks the park. Between 2018 and 2020, a haunting 732 missing persons reports cast shadows across its rugged terrain. These reports chronicle the tales of lost hikers, individuals separated from their groups, and injured adventurers left to await rescue in the wilderness. Though 732 may seem significant, it unfurled over a 3-year span. Considering, however, that the park welcomed over 4 million visitors in 2021 alone, it begs the question, could the true extent of these mysteries be far greater than we dare imagine? Park agencies whisper that unreported vanishings and overlooked reports might harbor the darkest enigmas of all.
Whether it's the waterfalls of Yosemite, the Perseids over Bryce, or the slot canyons of Zion.
Welcome to Zion National Park.
More than 400 million Americans and foreign tourists enjoy the beauty of our national parks each year. Unfortunately, some never make it home.
NPS investigators are continually working to find people who do get lost or have gone missing in national parks.
The National Park Service keeps a list of the missing, and while most people are found or sadly turn out to be suicides, like at the Grand Canyon this February that resulted in an over-the-edge body recovery, some visitors, like the 24 on the Park Service's cold case list, are simply missing.
Catherine Major, a 53-year-old woman, traveled to the Jackson Hole area in the fall of 2009 in the hopes of finding a place to settle down and relocate to. Catherine's family life isn't too well known, but she did have 2 children and 2 cats that she loved dearly. On September 18th, 2009, while staying at the upscale Four Seasons Resort in Teton Village, Wyoming, Catherine was caught shoplifting at the resort. She was spotted on surveillance stealing a master key to the resort spa and stealing $714 worth of stuff. Catherine had money. There was no need to steal, but she did, and she was caught. Authorities went to her room on September 19th and confronted her with the allegations. Catherine agreed to pay the money, and the resort said that they would not press charges if she left immediately. She said she would go, and she promised the officers that she wouldn't steal. They agreed to let her go. Security came back to her room about an hour later to make sure that she had left. It was 4 p.m. on Saturday, September 9th, 2009. Catherine was not there, but most of her belongings were. Her Jaguar was also still parked in the parking lot. A search for Catherine began at the resort and surrounding it. Investigators found some odd things in her room, such as empty pill bottles, wigs, gloves, and a rope. Catherine had attempted to take her own life before, 5 times in fact. Was this her intent? She did leave a note that read, "Please take care of Oscar and Max. I have nothing." Catherine must have left the resort either on foot or via public transportation or taxi, but no one came forward with any sightings. Law enforcement believed that they would find her. Catherine's sister came in from California to help search, and special search dogs were brought in. Dogs tracked Major scent through the glass doors of her room, across Granite Loop Road, north towards Obsidian Drive, down a hill towards Garnet Drive, and north towards a barn and open fields before they lost the trail. But there was no sign of Catherine anywhere. The detective in charge of Catherine's case said this one baffles him like no other. Everyone was certain she would turn up. Another odd fact is that in all this time, only one tip has ever been received, which turned out to be a dead end. This in itself is highly unusual in missing persons cases. Even when leads aren't verified, there are almost always leads coming in. The resort in particular sits very close to the Snake River and several mountains and caverns, which are popular areas for hikers. Did Catherine go off into the wilderness and meet her demise? Or had she left the area altogether and is living with someone else or somewhere else alone, unknown to family and friends? Investigators have said that this case will remain open and active until Catherine is found. What do you think happened to Catherine Ann Major? Catherine is described as a Caucasian female with brown hair and brown eyes. She stood 5 foot 5 inches tall and weighed around 125 pounds when she was last seen in September of 2009.
Most of the national park missing are solo hikers, like Charles Lyon, whose car was found on the Grand Canyon South Rim in June of 2021, and James Pruitt, 70, who set out in Rocky Mountain National Park as a snowstorm moved in for what was to be only a day trip. A ranger on the list of the missing for more than 4 decades, and cases go back further. This woman vanished in 1976, and little Dennis Lloyd Martin was last seen in a national park in 1969.
Darren Dixon was born June 18, 1973, in Raymond, Nebraska, and moved to Muncie, Indiana as a teenager. Darren went on to graduate from Burris High School in Muncie in 1991. He chose to attend Taylor University in Upland, Indiana. Taylor University is a private Christian college. It's not clear how Darren came to get a job at Yellowstone National Park, but he would get a summer job with the park system working as a busboy at Roosevelt Lodge. Darren, who loved the outdoors, seemed to enjoy the job, at least at first. For some unknown reason, Darren abruptly walked into work on July 2, 1993, and quit his job. No one saw Darren after that for a long time. Some friends would see Darren on July 4, 1993, in Cook City, Montana, although again, details about that encounter, such as where, when, and how it happened, are scarce. At a later date, Darren's car would be found at Lamar River Canyon Pullout. Some of his belongings were found in the car, such as his wallet, but friends would notice that all of his fishing gear was missing, leading everyone to believe that Darren had gone off fishing. A search of the area commenced immediately. There was no sign of Darren anywhere. He simply just vanished. If Darren had gone there to fish, the Lamar River is a likely reason for his car to be found where it was found. Searches for Darren began when his car was found, and were conducted throughout the entire summer. However, no sign of Darren was ever found. Authorities believe that he likely drowned. Bruce Pike, a visitor to Yellowstone National Park, disappeared under baffling circumstances, leaving authorities and park officials puzzled. Bruce was a nature enthusiast and an experienced hiker, known for his passion for exploring the park's wilderness. On the day of his disappearance, Bruce had embarked on a solo hiking expedition along one of the park's less traveled trails. His plan was to enjoy the park's natural beauty and capture some stunning photographs. However, as the day wore on, he failed to return to his designated meeting point, causing alarm among his fellow hikers. Search and rescue teams were immediately deployed to scour the vast terrain of Yellowstone, but despite their diligent efforts, no trace of Bruce Pike was found. The search operation expanded to include helicopters, canine units, and even expert trackers, but the mystery of his disappearance deepened as the days turned into weeks. As the investigation continued, park rangers and law enforcement interviewed witnesses who had crossed paths with Bruce on the trail. They examined his camping equipment and personal belongings left at his campsite. The park's geology and terrain posed unique challenges, with rugged landscapes, unpredictable weather, and the potential for encounters with wild animals. The disappearance of Bruce Pike stirred widespread concern, and the story made headlines across the country. Friends, family, and volunteers joined in the search efforts, and social media campaigns spread awareness about his case. Despite these efforts, the whereabouts of Bruce Pike in Yellowstone National Park remained a mystery.